If there's anything I've learned from being a person on the internet for the last few years, it's that y'all like to see me do things that I don't particularly want to do, which is a little concerning at the end of the day. I would bring that up in therapy if you're in therapy. I think everyone should be in therapy. But regardless, I'll do it for y'all. Again, I'm going to do it again for y'all. What are we doing, Bridget? We are going to be reading It Ends With Us by Miss Colleen Hoover. Yay, claps. Do I want to do this? No. Is this already a bit of movie magic because I've already done it and I'm filming this now? Yes, but that's okay. Don't worry. Yeah. Prior to reading this book, I do have a couple of preconceptions about said book. I'm gonna let my earlier clips speak for that when I recorded that prior to actually reading this. I didn't really want to use those clips because the lighting is absolutely crazy. I think I'm finally figuring out the lighting. Do you guys like it? Do you guys like it? Okay. So maybe I'll just put that clip here and let prior Bridget speak for me. Maybe. Let's just do that. Let's let her say the various things that I thought went on in this book originally. Before I get into it, I do want to make a list of things that I am expecting from this book to kind of come back to afterwards to see if those things were correct or not. Obviously, I've heard a lot about this book and what it involves because I'm on the book space and a lot of people talk about it as it's a very popular book. So let's make a little list. We're going to... Right here, I'm going to list off things that I've heard about this, and then we'll circle back and see if they're correct. Okay, number one, this is about domestic violence / abuse because there was a coloring book made about this, and people were quite upset about that because why would you make a coloring book about a book about domestic violence? A domestic violence coloring book, some might say. So, number one. That is what this is about. Number two, I heard she's writing to Dory from Finding Nemo / Ellen DeGeneres. So we'll see again if that holds true. Number three, which I brought up at dinner when my partner's mom said she really liked this book, is that I heard that there is / are weird descriptions of a baby's parts. I don't even know what I can say on this platform yet. I kind of have an idea of what to say on TikTok, but not here. So those three are the main things that I really know about this. So in light of that, I guess the only thing to really do is to get into said reading vlog and see how this goes. Like I said, prior clips, the lighting has not been completely figured out. So please give me some grace. This is only my second ever YouTube video. That's not true. I did YouTube when I was like 13, but for adult YouTube. That sounds wrong. Okay. Play the footage. We are locking in to begin It Ends With Us. Here's Frank. We have our beverage of choice, which is a $5 shitty London Fog from an unidentifiable Central Florida coffee chain. If y'all know this coffee chain, literally, oh, hello. You want to talk? Here's Pump. Both weenies have joined us. Yes. Hello. Every single beverage I've tried from said coffee chain has been not good. So we're losing faith. But I paid like $5 for this, so we're going to drink it together. Pumpkin is here too. She likes to steal those plushies. And now she's climbing over Franklin. Okay. We already found out that she once fell in love with a homeless guy and brought great shame upon her entire family. So that's nice and quirky, I guess. She's not like the other girls. His gaze is narrow and his mouth is drawn tight like a male version of the Mona Lisa. I feel his voice in my stomach. Okay, girl. Okay, girl. I can't help but notice how unfortunately cute he is. This is already going so well. Y'all are telling me this man's name is Ryle? R-Y-L-E. Ryle. Back to reading. Ladies and gentlemen, we are on page 20 of It Ends With Us by Colleen Hoover, and our main character has already said that he wants to fuck the other main character. Page 20. We're really getting into the meat and potatoes, I guess, on page 20. And we're back to the homeless guy. I guess the person that she lost her virginity to was a homeless guy. What do you think about that, Parker? I can't get over this guy's name being Ryle. I feel like that's not a real name. This is such a weird conversation to be having with someone that you just met. I wonder if this is in the movie. Maybe we'll have to watch the movie afterwards to see how much it holds up to the book. Brother, are they really going to have sex in the first 20 pages of this book? Is this real? Chat, is this real? Frank, is this real? Frank, is this real? They didn't have sex, but they almost did. All right, y'all. First third of the book update. I'm officially a third of the way through. We are on page 118. What has happened so far? We met our main character, Lily Bloom. I don't remember her middle name, but it was some crazy thing to do with flowers, so obviously really good. Our male main character is Raisin. What is this fucking name? Ryle. R-Y-L-E. Ryle. Unique, I guess. They met on a rooftop. After her father's funeral, he's a neurosurgeon, so I guess he was just dealing with I think a child died or something that he was taking care of or doing surgery on. Anyway, they met on a rooftop, but then he just disappeared, and then later on we find out that Miss Lily Bloom really wants to be a florist, so she's opening her own floral shop, and she meets this girl who wants to help decorate. Obviously very normal thing, someone just walks in and wants to work for your non-existent floral shop, but it ends up being Ryle's sister. And then Ryle shows up, and then they have this weird on-again, off-again attraction. Again, we get a kind of point in the book where he keeps repeating that he wants to fuck her. So that's interesting. It still hasn't happened yet. I guess he's like a one-night stand kind of guy, but he's trying to change his ways because he wants to see Miss Lily. So that's where we kind of are right now. Oh, also, to go back to what I thought, that she's writing letters to Dory from Finding Nemo, incorrect. She's writing letters to Ellen DeGeneres. So it's kind of Dory from Finding Nemo, but not. I honestly wish it was more Dory from Finding Nemo. I feel like that would be more interesting. But she's just writing to Ellen DeGeneres. When was this book written? Because did we know yet that Ellen DeGeneres was like not a great person? 2016. Okay, so I guess maybe we didn't know. But it's just really weird to me that she keeps writing about Ellen DeGeneres. Or to Ellen DeGeneres. And then in these letters to Ellen DeGeneres where she's writing when she's 15 years old and she's talking about this relationship that she's starting to form with this homeless boy who is living in like the abandoned house next door, that we initially learned that she lost her virginity to, but we don't know yet much. We don't yet know much. We don't know much yet about the other circumstances of the situation. So that's the first third. I'm gonna keep reading and we'll see where things go. I'm guessing her and this royal guy will end up in some sort of domestic abuse situation that mimics her parents' marriage, because that seems to be where this is going. We've had a couple of little red flags from our main Ryle character about him potentially having anger issues, so yeah. I will check back in when I'm done with the second third of the book. All right, second third update. I have just finished the second third, obviously, as I'm currently telling you that. My predictions ended up being correct. I don't know if we're getting into spoiler territory here, so if you're planning on reading this book at any point, maybe skip to the end of this video. I don't know. But we did get to what I thought would happen. Their relationship is souring, and he's turning out to be more like her father than she initially expected, which is what I expected. Quite a predictable book so far. The letters to Ellen were still weird. I think they're done, if I'm thinking correctly, because they were just leading up to her meeting her her childhood teenage love, but now she met him again when they're adults, and that's a whole point of drama between her and this abusive guy, Ryle. I still can't believe that's his name. That's insane to me. Never heard that name in my life. I feel like that's not a real name. But that's where we are. Not sure where this is going to go in the end. So I guess we'll just have to see. Shouldn't take me that long. The second third only took me like an hour, so it'll take me another hour probably to finish this. But we are here. There's a weenie dog in my lap. You cannot see him, but he is there. Okay, back to reading. Had some fried rice, but now we are gonna continue on in this book. Okay. I've officially read It Ends With Us by Colleen Hoover. Kind of weird timing, as Blake Lively is currently suing the guy who plays Ryle, the main character in the movie, so very relevant. Also weird to see that the details of the lawsuit as I've just read this book and see how weird and creepy that guy is in regards to this. But anyways, this was a book. This was indeed a book. Okay, so what are we working with? Basically, we have this girl meets this guy. She has a history of watching her parent, her mother, be in an abusive relationship with her father. So she has some nice little trauma from that. And then she starts dating this dude, Ryle. We also get this background information of her writing to Ellen DeGeneres, telling Ellen DeGeneres about her love story with this homeless dude who lived next door to her when she was 15, who she was kind of taking care of, and eventually they fell in love, and she lost her virginity to him. Not sure how important that is. Actually, it's quite important in the grand scheme of the book, I guess. Also, not sure how much of this is spoilers. If you haven't read the book, maybe just don't watch this. I don't know. Basically, we learn about this background childhood love called Atlas, and then she's dating this guy called Ryle. Things are going great. There's some red flags, and then they get married at 6 months, which my opinion, don't get married to anyone. If you've only known them for 6 months, maybe that could avoid a lot of problems down the line. But they do get married, and then things just get progressively worse with their relationship. He becomes abusive, as I predicted in the video, and then she gets pregnant, obviously, because obviously she does not have an abortion, which personally I would have done that, but maybe she's not about that life. I don't know. So she doesn't have an abortion, and she keeps the baby, and in the end, spoilers, they end up kind of splitting up, and then a lot of the conflict between, I just spat so far. A lot of the conflict between the two men is the fact that she's still holding on to memories of this Atlas guy from her childhood, and then she runs into him again when they're older. And the other guy, our main guy, Rael, does not like that because he's jealous and crazy and abusive. So obviously he throws a fit and hurts her, etc. But in the end, they are supposedly split up. She had the baby, they're co-parenting, but they're split up. So that's kind of where we end things in the plot. I wrote down some notes on my phone, which is wild that I can use my phone to look up notes because I can't do that when I'm filming TikToks because I'm filming on my phone. Okay, here are my notes so far. In one of the letters, describing Atlas and her childhood crush on this dude, they garden together because she's really into gardening. And she explicitly states that him and her fighting with manure turns her on, that was interesting to me. I definitely noted that in my notes. That was wild to me. I guess you could be turned on by weirder things, so it's not like that crazy. Then second note, I have married after 6 months, which I did bring up. Don't marry someone after 6 months. Just don't do that, okay? My parents did get married after 3 months, and they've been together for 30 years, 35 years. So I wouldn't exist if this rule was not applied. If this rule was applied, I wouldn't exist. But, don't do that. Don't do that. You can't really know about someone, I feel like, in 6 months. You can't really figure out if they're gonna, push you down the stairs, as in this book. I don't know. Number 3, why have a baby? Again, like I said, you're already in a shit situation. Do not have a child with this person. And if you do, there are ways to not do that. Not really in Florida anymore, but that's a whole other subject. 4th point, they name their baby, not really they, because she's not really in the picture at that point, but she names her baby Emerson Dory. Yes, you heard that correctly. Dory, like the fish, like the Ellen DeGeneres character, the fish, Dory. This book is full of extremely interesting character names, very interesting character names. So that definitely added to that aspect of things. Point number 5 I have on here, where is the baby parts part? I did say in the beginning about my predictions about this book, I did say that I read somewhere this Colleen Hoover passage about them talking about this baby's parts in a very, very strange way. I thought that this was in this book. It was not in this book, so I'm a little confused about where this is because I even brought this up to my partner's mom when she said she really liked this book. I was like, doesn't that book have that weird passage about the baby thing? And she was very confused, so now I see that I confused her even further. So I'm not sure where that was, what book that's in, but I also wrote Google it. So we're going to do that right now. Googling it. Colleen Hoover, baby, weird passage. Will that bring it up? Not sure. We laughed at our son's big balls. Exploring the baby balls theme in Ugly Love by Colleen Hoover. Okay, so that was in Ugly Love. We have cleared up the confusion. That was in Ugly Love, which is another novel by our lovely author Colleen Hoover, in which they laugh at the baby having big balls. So I guess that's a plus for this book, that's not in here. So that gets a point on my tally for a plus for this book because that's just crazy. Don't write that. Don't do that. I believe that's all my notes for the book. Honestly, was it a good book? No. Did I like relatively enjoy myself reading it? It was interesting to see what all of these girlies have been dying about. I might watch the movie. I was gonna watch the movie, and then now with this weird lawsuit going on, I kind of don't really want to watch the movie because that guy is a fucking weirdo. But that kind of adds to his character, like if you've read the book. I did have fun in a way though that it was very easy to read. I read a lot of not like romance typical stuff that I guess are more challenging to read just because they're yeah. So this was a nice reading experience in the sense that it was very easy to get through. It's like 360 pages, and like you see, I got through it in a couple of hours. Am I gonna keep this? Probably not. I'm probably gonna give it to someone who will enjoy it more. Maybe plop it in a little free library and see what happens. Well, I can't really see. I guess if there's other books that y'all would like to see me read through here as like an entertainment value thing that you think I would have an interesting reaction to, I guess leave them down below. Let me know what you think. I kind of enjoyed doing these just because, like I said, they're very different from what I typically read. So it's like a science experiment. Or a social experiment to see my opinion. Overall, if you want a book that's very not like other girls, our main character is very not like other girls, this is the book. I guess she does end up like other girls because she ends up in an abusive relationship. But also the fact that there was a coloring book made about this is extremely insane, and I'm glad now looking back that people let Colleen Hoover know immediately that that was extremely insane to do. But yeah, that's my experience with Miss Ends with Us. I hope you guys have a lovely day. Okay, goodbye. Love you guys. Stay safe.